Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier we were discussing will the Cowboys really be all in or expect more of the same during the 2024 off season.
I thought we were talking
Excuse
about
me.
each other's hair.
And now we're going to be talking about the 76ers. Joel Embiid talks knee injury return timeline. But before we do that, I just want to remind you guys to like and follow the show. We get a number of questions that come from the viewers. Oh my gosh, let me start over. You've got
She used to
me.
be so smooth as butter.
You got me
Now
messed up.
she's like chunky peanut butter.
I would just like to ask that you guys like and follow the show.
Wow.
We get a
See,
number of
all in.
questions from the viewers that come in during the show. So to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. The tips and donation link is gsmcpodcast.net. Let's put your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it also just really helps the show.
And the super chat button's coming too soon.
Yeah, I'm blaming you for that. That was your
See?
fault.
That's that pressure. Just you know what I mean? Little changes.
It's not
Just
even
like,
no, it was you distracting me while we were on break.
face hair is on point. And then she brought
Thank
up
you.
the fact that I'm 3 weeks into not cutting my hair or clipping my beard or anything. And this is what it looks like for 3 weeks, a little over 3 weeks of not doing anything. Monday, all this is gone
He's gonna be bald.
again for another 3 weeks. It's like Groundhog Day for the face.
3 more weeks of winter.
So
Oh,
I
gosh.
have not reached puberty, so it takes me a long time to grow facial hair.
Oh, goodness. All right. So the 76ers, Joel Embiid talks knee injury return timeline. He says, if I feel good, I'm playing. Philadelphia 76ers star center Joel Embiid still doesn't have a timeline for his return to the court after undergoing meniscus surgery, but he is optimistic that he'll be back during the regular season. Embiid said, it's the same mindset. If I feel good, I'm playing. Embiid underwent a procedure on his left knee on February 6th, and the Sixers announced at the time that he would be reevaluated in 4 weeks. He suffered the injury to his meniscus during a game against the Golden State Warriors on January 30th. He had been forced to miss matchups against the Denver Nuggets and the Portland Trail Blazers before the Warriors game due to a lingering knee issue. Embiid said Thursday that he didn't feel pressured to return against Golden State, but he felt the need to get the team back on track because Philadelphia was riding on a 3-game losing streak at the time. So, and the Sixers have gone 4-8 since Embiid went down, and they rank 6th in the Eastern Conference with a 33-25 record.
If I am the general manager for the 76ers, I'm slipping the doctor a couple of stacks. Listen, Doc.
Some bands.
we you need to trust the process, okay? I don't want Joel Embiid coming back anytime soon.
Why is that?
Okay, Joel Embiid is arguably, in some people's eyes, could be the best player in basketball. Joel Embiid is also the MVP. He was favored to win the MVP this year. Joel Embiid, the same guy who has had an injury issue. He's a man that is a very big man, coming off a very serious injury. I am not rushing him back. What tends to happen, first off, when you rush a player back, or anyone, they tend to overcompensate because of the injury. They put a lot more weight on another leg or shift things and do things like that, which tends to a lot of times end up with a catastrophic injury on another leg, kind of like Klay Thompson when he got injured. Listen, this isn't their year. I am making sure Joel Embiid is the 76ers. They are nothing without him. They are not a playoff contender. They're not an NBA championship contender whatsoever without him. He's still relatively young. I want to make sure I'm protecting my future at the cost of my present.
Mm.
Meaning, I'm not rushing it. Like, you have to protect the player from himself. Meaning, yes, he wants to get back out there. He wants to contend this year for a title, things like that. Well, protecting him from what he wants. And that is, I want to make sure you are fully healthy. I want to make sure that you are fully healed, that you're not overcompensating. I want to slowly bring you back. An injury like that, a surgery like that, sure, you can be back in a couple of months, a few weeks, but you putting more pressure on the other leg? Are you standing different? Things like that, where you're gonna blow out an Achilles or something else, or you're gonna have a major setback. Take your time. Do not rush him back. I would shut his butt down for the whole year. We're gonna scrap this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm serious. This is this is their only all-star they have. This guy, they're not even a playoff team without him. They're a championship contending team with him. Yes, it costs you this year, but making sure that your future is taken care of for years to come is just way more important. I use the best example, I know it's different sports, is when this is back when the Washington football team used to be called the Redskins, and they had Robert Griffin the third, and he was rookie of the year, and he hurt his knee, and they had the Nike kind of campaign, and it was kind of that all in for next year. Matter of fact, I think it might have was that he was all in for next year. Like he was going to be back, or like they wanted him back, and they rushed him back, and it derailed his career. He is out of the league. He went from being the best rookie. Him and Andrew Luck are the best two rookies that come through in many years, to can't even get a job strictly because they rushed him back. They forced this to come early. Now you're talking about a guy that's 7 foot. When you're that long and lanky and you're that size, a lot of injuries can happen. I'm protecting him. That is my blue chip stock. I'm not letting him go out there unless I am 100%. I got him, I have a slow process for getting him in. And if I'm bringing him back this year, he's on a minute restriction. I don't care if it's game 7.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, you went 1 minute over. Your butt is out. No, you have to protect him from himself, because I tell you what, you lose Joel Embiid and that process is over. There is nothing left for the 76ers but to completely rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
If he gets majorly injured, everything is on his shoulders. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it definitely does make sense.
And I know for an athlete who, athletes are supposed to want to play hurt and play injured, and they leave it all out on the field.
I don't know why they not necessarily force them, but kind of persuade them to go back and keep playing after they've had a injury like this, because one bad thing could happen and then you lose your best player for
it's this whole mentality, this whole sometimes male ego thing, where it's just like, you got to play hurt, you got to be able to want to get out there. If Joel Embiid says, you know what, I really just want to take my time and gradually come back in, and maybe even wait till next year, the media would destroy him. They would call him soft and weak. and everything else. That's the reason why, as a general manager in an organization, you have to protect your investment. And when I say investment, Joel Embiid is worth hundreds of millions of dollars to the organization. You have to protect that long term. You want your player to be with you for years to come. You can rush him back now and then cost him years on the back end. I look at like Derrick Rose. Many times I've wondered what would have happened if the Bulls would have just taken their time and just said, you know what, we're gonna bring him back incredibly slow. We're gonna make sure that he is 100%. Or Grant Hill. How great would these guys be? Hall of Famers if they would just taken a different approach with them and just said slow, a year, 2 years, slowly bring them back because these are serious injuries and there are hundreds of millions of dollars at stake and your entire future at stake. I say take your time, bring them back slowly. I think more teams need to do this. And some of the statistics, like the analytics on it, why like people are studying LeBron and how he's managed his body because he's 20 years and he's figured out the secret sauce of, hey, LeBron is doing this. He started doing this at his age. Now people are starting to get massage. It used to be no one ever got massages. Now everyone gets massages. Everyone's getting this. People are noticing, hey, I got to do my nutrition right. I got to get massages in. I got to work on my flexibility. I work on my strength. This is all things that players are figuring out so that they can have longer careers. Well, one of the things is making sure that players don't overwork themselves or come back too soon. Injuries take time to recover from. And when you're talking, this is not your third or fourth player. This is Joel Embiid. This is your franchise. If Joel Embiid comes back too soon, he gets injured, it's 20 years before the 76ers are good again.
Mm.
That's why I am taking my time with Joel Embiid, especially because of his past history. He's had a lot of injuries. He's a very big man. No, I'm protecting him from himself. So no, I'm not having him come back early. I know a lot of people, 76ers fans, they want a championship. Everybody wants a championship. So it's all or nothing. Everything is all or nothing. Now or never. Well, as a general manager and a front office, you can't be a fan. You have to look and say, what is the business decision that works best for the organization? And rushing Joel Embiid back is not a good business decision.
Mm-hmm. I agree, especially since before he injured his meniscus, he was already having pain in his knee before.
He was hobbling around, yes.
Mm-hmm. And then he just kept playing and then hurt his meniscus. And so I also agree that they should give him the time that he needs and the rest, because the body's got to heal, man, and the body can
Rest
only
that
go
meniscus.
so fast, you know?
Yeah, rest the body up, the knee, the back. He is a very big man. I'm sorry, you're not gonna win the championship this year. Only thing you can do is rush him back so that you can get knocked out of the playoffs, in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But you can rest him up, get him ready for next year, maybe bring some other weapons with him. But I just don't think and there's no benefit. He can't win the MVP. He was the favorite to win the MVP, but now because of the rule, even if he had the greatest year ever, the rest of the year, he's not eligible for the MVP or any other award.
Mm-hmm.
So do what's best for the franchise and what's best for the player. Protect the player. No, I'm not bringing him in.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Rest up, rest that leg, and all you 76ers fans, don't be pressuring this man to go back on the court until he's ready.
Trust the process, because that was their whole thing when they first got him. It was, oh, trust the process. Well, you got to trust the process a little bit longer. It's hard to win a championship, but forcing a guy to come back way before he's ready on a team that is not that's even with him there, I don't think they have a shot at winning a championship, especially coming back. I'd rather use that time to rest him up so that he's ready to go when they can contend next year.
Alrighty, guys. Well, with that, we're gonna take a
quick
break, and when we come back, we're doing our Friday special of dating horror stories.
Looking forward to it.